Ladies and gentlemen of the United States Virgin Islands, please stand as the Legislature of the Virgin Islands presents the members of the 36th Legislature. The Honorable Milton E. Potter, Senate President. The Honorable Kenneth L. Gittins, Senate Vice President. The Honorable Avery L. Lewis, Senate Secretary. The Honorable Kurt A. Viale, Majority Leader. The Honorable Novell E. Francis Jr., the Honorable Carla J. Joseph, the Honorable Angel L. Bolquez, the Honorable Maurice C. James, the Honorable Herbert L. Fedrick, the Honorable Ray Fonseca, the Honorable Clifford Joseph, the Honorable Marvin Blyden, the Honorable Alma Francis Heiliger, and the Honorable Franklin D. Johnson. The Honorable Senator Dwayne M. DeGraff could not be with us today. Please give a round of applause for the members of the 36th Legislature.
Good morning. We will now have the invocation by presiding Elder Euclid Hendricks, pastor of the Bethel AME Church, St. Croix.
Let us pray. O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from this stormy blast, and our eternal home. We pause to thank you for your many blessings bestowed upon us. We come into your presence this morning knowing that it's not by might nor by power, but it's by your Spirit. You have allowed us the privilege of calling these islands home by birth or by choice. We thank you. We thank you for the physical and the human resources of these islands. We thank you, God, for the senators that have been elected. We ask now, God, for your continued presence in their lives, that every day you will fall fresh on them, so that God, as your instrument, mountains will be brought low, valleys will be filled, the naked will be clothed, the hungry will be fed, those that are oppressed will be liberated. God, I pray that with them as your instrument, justice will roll down as waters and righteousness as an ever-flowing stream. Bless these islands, we pray, and make them a blessing. And we pray, oh God, that the dream for these islands that this certainly will be our promised land. Will be realized, O God, through them being submissive to you and allowing you to lead them where we need to go. For we ask all these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please remain standing for the posting of the colors, followed by the national anthem and the Virgin Islands March. Post colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. All hail the Virgin Islands, emeralds of the sea, where beaches bright with coral sand and trade winds bless our native land. All hail the Virgin Islands, bathe in waters blue. We give our loyalty for to thee and pledge allegiance forever true. God bless our Virgin Islands. Humbly now we pray, where all mankind can join today in friendly warmth of work and play. God bless our Virgin Islands, beautiful and tall, beneath the sunny skies. Hilltops high hold out a welcome for one and all.
Please be seated. Good morning, everyone. Morning, colleagues. Good morning to our hardworking Central staff, employees who really do incredible work behind the scenes. I'm talking about employees from the Office of the Executive Director, Ms. Corel Sheridan and her crew. They did a tremendous job the last 2 days putting on these swearing-in ceremonies. Divisions like Public Affairs, a Division of Facilities, a Legal Counsel, a Capitol Police. I think we have the best police force in the U.S. Virgin Islands, without question. Our Business and Affairs Division, a Human Resources Division. Good morning to all the guests who have chosen to be here with us today at this very special occasion at the Fritz Lowett's Legislative Hall. This is indeed a very special day, as well as those in the listening audience. It's always great being on the island of St. Croix, the Big Island. I am Senator Milton E. Potter, and it is really my honor to serve as President of the 36th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. This is a responsibility and a privilege that I do not take for granted. I want to thank my colleagues for your unwavering support, your trust, and your vote of confidence in me to lead this body. I want to also single out former Senate President, the Honorable Noel Francis, who had a steady hand in leading the 35th legislature as past president. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. Senator Francis really has been an example of what is right with this institution. In what can be a challenging environment, you have consistently handled yourself with a high level of dignity and class. And for that, we are eternally grateful. Colleagues and ladies and gentlemen, we stand on the threshold of a new chapter in the vibrant history of the Virgin Islands of the United States. As President of the 36th Legislature, it is with great joy and profound responsibility that I extend my warmest welcome and heartfelt congratulations to each of you. The election results not only reflect the trust placed in us by the people we serve, the people of these beautiful Virgin Islands, but also the hope they hold for a brighter future for all of us in this beloved territory. Each elected senator in this room today brings a level of individuality and a level of competence. They bring a level of unique passion and dedication. I categorize it like a pot of Crucian seafood callaloo. And I say that because the individual ingredients in a pot of callaloo are good in their own right, but when you blend it together, when you boil it down together, the ingredients the combination, the final dish is awesome. And that is a lot of bush makeup, Carlo. You say, the Vice President say on St. Thomas we don't make spinach soup. I had a little offended by that, but I let him have it. The challenges that lie ahead are indeed formidable. We know it. Take your pick. Water and Power Authority, high costs of living, housing, healthcare. We have crime. We have a lot of issues to deal with. While they are formidable, I firmly believe that they are not insurmountable. With the strength of our shared commitment, our innovative ideas, and collaborative spirit, we can work towards solutions that uplift every single resident in the U.S. Virgin Islands. May our deliberations be guided by wisdom, compassion, and a steadfast resolve to make decisions that reflect the very best of who we are as a people. Congratulations once again, colleagues, in the 36th Legislature. Let us move forward with the audacity of Rothschild Francis, the courage of Queen Mary, the wisdom of General Butto, the intellect of Ambassador Terence Tadman, the determination of Senator Ruby M. Rouse and the commitment of Governor Cyril E. King, knowing that the work we do together will shape the future of these islands and the lives of the people we serve. That is the only reason we are here, to focus on serving the people of the territory, to find a way to improve their quality of life. They deserve it. Mr. Secretary, can we please have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Senator Marvin A. Blyden.
Present.
Senator Angel Bolkes.
Present.
Sorry, Senator Blyden present. Senator Angel Bolkes.
Present.
Senator Angel Bolkes present. Senator Dwayne M. DeGraff. Senator Dwayne M. DeGraff. Mr. President, Senator Dwayne M. DeGraff is absent. Senator Ray Fonseca.
I'm here.
Senator Ray Fonseca present. Senator Novell E. Francis Jr.
Here.
Senator Novell E. Francis Jr. present. Senator Alma Francis Heiliger.
Present.
Senator Alma Francis Heiliger present. Senator Hubert L. Frederick.
Present.
Senator Hubert L. Frederick present. Senator Kenneth L. Gittins.
Here.
Senator Kenneth L. Gittins present. Senator Carla J. Joseph.
Present.
Senator Carla Joseph present. Senator Clifford Joseph.
Present.
Senior, right? Senior. Senator Clifford Joseph, Senior, present. Senator Maurice C. James.
I'm here.
Senator Maurice James, present. Senator Franklin D. Johnson.
Here.
Senator Franklin D. Johnson, present. Senator Avery L. Lewis. I am definitely here. Senator Lewis, present. Senator Milton Potter.
Here.
Senator Potter, present. Senator Kurt Bailey. Senator Bailey, present. Mr. President, 14 members present, 1 absent.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. We indeed have a quorum, so we may proceed with today's agenda. Senator Viola, you're recognized for your motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that 3 minutes be allotted to each senator for a point of personal privilege. I so move.
Second.
Properly moved by Senator Viola, seconded by Senator Gittins. Hearing no objections, so ordered. All right, we will start our point of personal privilege with Senator Alma Francis Heiliger. You're recognized for your 3 minutes, Senator Heiliger.
Okay. It's a little short. Good day to the people of the territory. Good day to my colleagues. Good day to the Virgin Islanders. Good day especially to St. Croix. I am always happy when I'm on the Big Island because I get an opportunity to really reach out to my constituents. I make sure when I come to visit, I spend an extra couple of days here to really speak to as many people as I possibly can. I think it's a beautiful thing that the people of this territory gave me an opportunity once again to really represent you as Virgin Islanders. We have been dealing with a lot of struggles over the last couple of years, over the last couple of months. I would even say the last week was quite interesting. But, you know, I was talking to my colleague earlier, and we were discussing where they are always saying that the people of the Virgin Islands are resilient. And I was telling her, I don't want us to be resilient. I just want us to be to the point that we're okay. I'm tired of being resilient. We keep getting hit blow after blow after blow. And I take on the responsibility, and hopefully along with my 14 other colleagues that understand that our goal is to make the lives of the people better. That's our job. And until we all take that seriously, and I remember we spoke a little bit about the first branch of government. Each branch is co-equal, but we have to have checks and balances. And I want the public to understand that sometimes with me, when you see me challenge things, it's not that I'm challenging because I always want to go against something. I know the importance of having checks and balances, because when you check somebody who might not be checking, that might be the difference between our people having a better life or a bad life. And that is very important to me. So sometimes they say, well, sometimes we have discourse in here. I vote and support for a lot of bills. But the ones that I don't think in our best interest, I will always challenge them. And that's just who I am. And I appreciate this territory. I appreciate St. Croix. I appreciate all of you for allowing me to unapologetically be the representative that I am. I appreciate y'all for that. So I asked my colleagues today, as we about to begin this 36th legislature, I don't want us to just speak about unity as if it's a word thrown about. I want us to actually unify as a body and work together to send these Virgin Islands to a prosperous place. That is my genuine desire for the people of this territory. And I believe that if the 15 of us actually work together, we could actually get it done. But we have to step on sometimes toes, and sometimes you might have to push back against certain things. But at the end of the day, if we're unified in bringing about a positive outcome, that is the ultimate goal for me. And at the end of the day, if it changes the life of even 1, 2, 3, the whole population, that makes me happy. So thank you. I want to just say my colleague, Senator DeGraff, unfortunately, it was a little bit under the weather, so he was not able to make it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And hopefully, I'll be here for the next couple of days. Before I go, this is a good platform for me. I'm looking to buy a piece of land in St. Croix. So if anybody could help me out with the area, just let me know. I'll be here for the next 3 days. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Alma Francis Heiliger. Senator Francis Heiliger and I served initially together in the 34th legislature. We were in the freshman class of the 34th. I admire your tenacity, I admire your passion, and I look forward to working with you sincerely in the 36th legislature, Senator Alma Francis Heiliger. And indeed, Senator Dwayne DeGraff contacted me earlier today and it advised me that he was under the weather. He sounded really under the weather. And he would have been here but for his illness. So we're gonna root for him for a quick and speedy recovery. I know that the flu is going around here, so be careful, everybody. Next up, Senator Franklin Johnson from the West. Senator Franklin Johnson, you're recognized for your 3 minutes.
Good morning, St. Croix.
Good morning.
To God be the glory, great things he have done. Without him, none of this is possible. And this is a smart St. man here. But before I get any place, I want to definitely introduce my family, because without family, none of this is either possible. So I have my mom here, 86 years and kicking. I have my daughter from New York, born and raised in New York all her life. This is about your 3rd trip to St. Croix, right, Tia? Definitely. And then I have my significant other, Natanya. In the audience, I have my baby sister. Stand up and let us see who's my baby sister, man. Trisha. That's right. And then right next to Trisha, I have my big brother there. We shared 2 grandchildren, Suge Knight. And then I also have one of my dedicated workers, Tassala Josiah. And my chief of staff, Maureen Maynard, who's been with me from the time I got into this business. I also want to acknowledge some real strong supporters. The Bodo Singh is a family member, a group of them. From the day I start, I don't know where they come from. They just pop up with me and been there with me. And the Parkers, these two families have really supported me from day one and have never turned their back. Sometimes they call me with problems from other constituents that couldn't get to me, and I answer the bell every time. So I'm thankful for all of those folks who have been there supporting me. In St. John, I said to my colleagues that we got 2 years. 2 years to get a lot of things done. People are not living well here in the Virgin Islands. With our homes with blue roof, with our hospital, with our schools. And I always say we're the first branch. It's about time we step up and make sure people understand who is in charge. And if we don't do it in these 2 years, the people have a right to do what they need to do. Without a doubt. Because people keep complaining, they keep crying. We have to answer. We have to try to do everything to make sure that the mass of the people in this territory is living better and enjoying a prosperous life here. Crime is on the rise all over the world. But in the Virgin Islands, we're too small to not be solving these problems and executing these little few folks that are out there taking advantage of our people. We must do better. I say this to you, people miss messages sometimes, and I don't care how you try to deliver it. The message that I gave about prostate cancer was not about Frankie Johnson. It was about men doing their tests in a timely manner. I saw 2 negative out of maybe 1 million positive, but I must mention them. One person said, well, you got money, you could run up and down. It's not about money. It's about doing a simple blood test to start this out. A very simple blood test. There's more men with prostate cancer than there are women with breast cancer, by far. And there's more men dying from prostate cancer than women with breast cancer. The other person said, I can't think of it, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it because it's not about me. They said, yes, I'm looking sympathy. If I was looking sympathy, I would announce my issue before the election. I kept that to me because I wanted to make sure I take care of me. And during that process, I came to work every day. Some of my colleagues knew, some didn't know. This morning, a lady met me. She said, but you were walking every day on the highway. I said, yes, because I have to keep moving. I can't stop. I know that I had a positive mind going in because I know prostate cancer was just a temporary thing inside of me. I knew that from the start. I was blessed to meet, I think, one of the best doctors you could ever meet, Dr. Fernandez. And my first meeting with this gentleman lasted 2.5 hours. What I learned from him, I definitely want to share with others. I'm here to take calls. And the most amazing thing was one of my friends contacted me and told me about someone in St. Thomas that I didn't even know. And I gave him numbers. And by the 26th of December, that gentleman was there in Moffett Center going through his process too. So I definitely want to say, thank you very much, Madam Chair. I definitely want to say it's all about us doing the testing on a timely manner. Ladies outlive us because they always go and do the check. Gentlemen, I'm pleading to you. Do that simple prostate test, get diagnosed, and make sure you take care of it. At some point in all of our lives as men, we will have a prostate problem. I am assuring you that. Men at 80, 85, because it's such a slow-moving cancer, they're going to die from something besides prostate cancer if they check it on time. So for the young men, then my pledge to you, please go out there and do what you got to do. God bless these beautiful Virgin Islands. God bless all of us here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator Franklin Johnson. In this life, there will always be naysayers. Even the Most High had naysayers. So you don't take it on. We appreciate you. We appreciate your commitment to educating the people of the Virgin Islands about, the benefits of early detection and early testing. Potentially, your speech, your comments yesterday and today could potentially save lives. So we appreciate you. Senator Johnson was a part of the freshman class of the 34th legislature with me. We also served in the Mapata cabinet together. He has always been a very passionate leader and very effective one. So we appreciate you, Senator Johnson. We look forward to working with you closely in the 36th legislature. Next up, a senator from the small island of St. John, Love City, Senator Bolkes. You are recognized for your 3 minutes.
That's it? Okay. I have to crouch over, but people of the Virgin Islands, I bring you greetings in the name of the Most High God. And I thank him for everything in my life and everything that I've been able to accomplish. And I want to thank my family and, of course, you, everyone who supported me to be able to come back to the legislature, in the 36th legislature of the Virgin Islands, to serve you and continue the work that I've begun with my colleagues. And Senator Johnson, I want to tell you something. There's always going to be negative people. God sent his only begotten son here to show us and emulate a life that God deemed worthy for us to live as human beings. They spit on him, they talk about him bad, and they nail him up on a cross and kill him. Okay? So there will always be negative people in this world. But we who put ourselves up for public service to make better in this world, in this life, in these Virgin Islands, we are doing what we are supposed to be doing. But they would rather go on the airwaves and chatter and say what they want to say and try to disrespect the work that we're doing. But when you see them in public, they say nothing. And they say nothing because people who like to criticize people, other people, they do that, but when they see you in your face, they say nothing because they want attention. When you have a problem, I learned in school from very early, that if you have a problem, you go to your teacher or you go to the student and we all get together and we communicate. That's how you solve problems. You don't batter people down and nail them down and try to destroy them. We're never going to go nowhere if we do that. So I say that, and I'm going to move on to some positive energy now. And I want to say, this is my mother here, Patricia Mitchell. Thank you. Patricia Powell Mitchell, my mother, love her. She's always my toughest critic. And she will always tell me, no, the same thing I just tell her, basically. You know, don't worry about other people. Do what you have to do. Stay positive. Stay grounded. Stay focused. You know, she's my encouragement, and I love her for that. All my family, and this is my aunt, Ana Castillo. And I want you all please give her a round of applause. I appreciate it. And before my time goes, I want to say that by mandate, I am the territorial representative of these Virgin Islands. And while by mandate, I'm the territorial representative of these Virgin Islands, no other senator in here is precluded from representing each and every one of these islands in this territory. Okay? So we have St. Croix senators voting on St. John issues. We have St. Croix senators voting on St. Thomas issues. And we have St. Thomian senators voting on St. Croix issues. And we are all here to serve the Virgin Islands. It's one Virgin Islands. Ain't no district thing. Even when we get into the district thing, it is one Virgin Islands. So we're all going to work together to make these Virgin Islands better. Thank you, Mr. President, for the time.
Thank you so very much, Senator Bolkes. Senator Bolkes will be chairing the Committee on Culture, Youth, Aging, and Parks. He will ultimately be charged with promoting cultural activities, cultural initiatives, and supporting youth and aging populations in our territory. Very critical committee. Senator Hubert Fredericks, you're recognized for your 3 minutes.
Good morning. Good morning. God is good. I am so elated, excited to be here this morning, to be in this opportunity, this great room where great leaders have been before myself. This journey started 10 years ago. Today, I'm honored to be here with my family, Hubert Frederick, 87 years old, still driving, Claudia Frederick, my right hand, Valina Frederick, who's home with my mom, taking care of her. Oh, look at her. Oh, here. Yeah. Luisito Frederick. He was in St. Thomas. Paul Frederick. He's in Atlanta recovering from a serious motorcycle accident with his wife. We keep praying for his speedy recovery. He was a police officer here for 13 years. And yes, thank you. And then Tracy Frederick, who's in Maryland right now watching. Love you, sis. So we're not a big family, but we're tight. We're close. We love each other so much. And then let me talk about my awesome staff. Please meet Julian Bishop, my chief of staff. Julian is 24 years old. I took an opportunity to select him because of his age, his wit, his brilliance. It had nothing to do with anything else. He actually deserved the job. He's been in this institution associated with it for over 10 years. He was an intern here. So I didn't take a wild guess on selecting him, okay? But I also believe what we say, we should put our trust and faith in our young people. And this is how we do it. The proof is in the pudding. The other staff are forthcoming, and you'll see them around eventually. I also want to thank Central staff. This is the most amazing group of government employees I've ever been around. Thank you guys very much. Coming from a corporate background, I thought I was in corporate America, the way they handle themselves and the way they do things. When you ask for something, boom, it's there. So, and without the attitude or anything like that, it's awesome. So thank you on both islands, all three islands actually. So thank you very much, guys, for making our job easier. I would also like to thank each and every supporter, campaign worker that worked with me to get this happen. Oh, Sonia Boyce, my right hand. That was my campaign manager. Without her, I wouldn't be here today. I'll tell you that straight out. So behind every good man, there's a better woman. She would insist that I get up every afternoon and go walk in the streets so we could meet and greet the public. I just want people to know I take this job very seriously. I didn't do it because of any financial incentive or anything like that. It's our needs, our people. People are hurting, and there's a process to fixing these things, and I want to be a part of this process. These are excellent people. I know a lot of people think this is an easy job. In just being a senator-elect, I can assure you, I did more work than ever in public service. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of reading. There's a lot of people to meet. Everyone texts you and tell you about their problems and concerns. This is not easy. So if you think 15 people to serve 88,000 people is too much, reduce it and see what's going to happen. It's going to be even more complicated. I got 7 people on St. Croix to deal with 45,000 people. And they do call. And they expect you to follow up. So I am just glad to be a part of the solution-based problem, and I want to be here to help. Don't be afraid to call me or my office. We're here to help. Thank you so much again for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Senator Hubert Fredericks. Senator Frederick will be chairing the Committee on Economic Development and Agriculture. This committee, as you know, is essential for driving economic growth, creating opportunities, and supporting our local farmers. I know you will do an excellent job, Senator. I look forward to working closely with you in the 36th legislature. Senator Carla Joseph, you are recognized for your 3 minutes.
Thank you so kindly, Mr. President. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and might. Our God is an awesome God. Never forget that. It is my deepest honor to greet the people from both Christiansted and Frederiksted, the big island of St. Croix. I want to let you know that you have a supporter in me because you helped to train me. The Word of God said, train up a child in the way that it should go, that they will not depart from it. I want to thank one of my mentors who is here today from the big island of St. Croix, the Honorable Carol M. Burke, who helped train me. I also attended the University of the Virgin Islands here in St. Croix, took classes and courses so I could get my degree. I want to also recognize some very important people. Two of them are no longer on God's earth. My mother is three ladies who helped nurture and guide me. My mother, she passed in 2017. My grandmother, she passed last year, July 2024, at the age of 99. And the third is my aunt, who is from the Big Island of St. Croix. Yeah, that's why I tell you, you have a supporter in me. I ask her to rise right now, Mrs. Estelyn Walwyn. She worked for over, thank you, Auntie. She worked for over 35 years at the Wang F. Louis Hospital in a critical position, bringing life. Some of you who are women and parents, you have seen her in the nursing. She was tireless, and we supported her as a family. After Hugo in 1989 ravaged her, my mother dispatched me and said, you need to go over to St. Croix to help your aunt with the children them, because she has work to do in St. Croix to help bring those babies into this world so that they could be productive and efficient and well-mannered citizens of this community. Auntie, you can sit. And so that passion and that drive, when you see I say present with some energy, is because of those things that has been embedded in me by my family and my friends here in the Big Island of St. Croix. So I know St. Croix. I've been coming here from time I was 8. I remember when you had carnival in Christiansted and then Frederickstead. I would be chaperoning a whole bunch of young people. I want to also take the opportunity to recognize some of my staff. Ms. Carlwood, she's here, and Mr. Elston Reimer. Jabi, stand up. He's from Bavoni like me. I grew up in Bavoni community. Bavoni. And I have another cousin here from St. Croix. She is a veteran of our military, Barbara Willock. She's a Crucian, Santa Barbara. So they could see you. A Crucian. It's one Virgin Islands. Let us remember that. My passion, because I learned from this lady who is sitting here in the black and white about young people and nurturing, I'm telling you to train up the child, right? She had a very pointed program called Building Bridges, okay? And so my life work is about young people and families. Young people, my staff is young, okay? And I invest in young people because I know we need them to be able to push our community and this territory forward. So I really want to thank everybody for their prayers. I thank my staff in St. Thomas who is viewing and texting me. And I really want to thank the voters also from the St. Thomas, St. John district. And before I close out, Mr. President, if I may, I would love to thank my home church, Memorial Moravian Church. I really appreciate the Christian community who pray for us, who are there to guide. Yes, we're going to get some licks, and it's part of the territory, and that's fine. But I'm coming with the energy and being prepared to serve you because I enjoy it. I enjoy serving you. Thank you so kindly, Mr. President, for the time and the leeway. I deeply appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Senator Carla Joseph. Senator Joseph will be chairing the powerful Committee on Rules and Judiciary. Senator Joseph, I sincerely look forward to working closely with you in the 36th legislature. And she was a part of the freshman class of the 34th legislature. Thank you very much, Senator Joseph. Next up, we have former Senate President, the Honorable Noel E. Francis. Senator Francis, you're recognized for your 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and good morning to everyone, colleagues, family, friends, and well-wishers. there is a blessed assurance. And of course, as a cancer survivor myself for over 10 years, when you have been diagnosed with cancer, when you're able to survive cancer, you live a purposeful life. A lot of individuals often ask me, you're always cool, calm, and collective. You're the statesman. You understand after having chemotherapy and radiation that again you were left here on this earth to be purposeful, to be deliberate, to be able to get the job done. So I bid you a crucian morning to each and every one of you. And today's about reflections. I want to reflect on my grandparents. My grandfather, my paternal grandfather from Antigua, Willie Bim Francis, as well as Elizabeth Francis, and here in St. Croix, my grandparents, again out of Gallas Bay, Amelia Harvey, as well as Clarence Percival Peterson, and of course my parents, Lena Francis, a public health nurse, as well as my father, a construction worker, business owner. I want to thank the people of St. Croix for the opportunity to serve 6 consecutive terms. 6 consecutive terms. Over 35 years of public service. I served 25 years in the Virgin Islands Police Department, where I took on a job back in 1987, making $16,000 a year. I've survived that. At 14 years old, I served as a founding member of St. Croix Rescue, cutting individuals out of mangled vehicle. The jaws of life was heavier than I was at the time. So St. Croix is my home. St. Croix is my energy. I ain't got no place to go. This is where I intend to be buried. So again, as long as God gives me strength to continue to perform my public service, that's exactly what I intend to do. I want to give thanks, of course, and I'm grateful today. I want to first of all recognize my wife, Avril Francis. My rock, my sounding board at the end of the night. When I go home after a tough day, she's always there for me. I also want to thank my staff. I have my chief of staff here, Shauna Richards, that have been with me for 10 years, my entire time. And of course, I see Kelsey, Hector. Again, we'll talk about bringing young people and giving them opportunity. Kelsey is a young individual. Kevin Allen, I'm not sure if he's in here. Oh, here is Kevin there as well. And of course, we have Brianna Thomas, a UVI student. She's probably at school right now. That serve in my office as well. I want to thank the Democratic Party for their contribution. Again, I've run as a Democrat for the last 5 terms. We have the state chair here, Carol Burke. We have the former district chair, Renee McAlpin Peterson, as well as the former state chair, district chair, everything, Cecil Benjamin. Thank you for your contribution. I want to thank my campaign workers, some of them that's here today. Certainly we have Ahmad, Mesa, we have Simba, Lasimba Allen, Jareen, Janice, and all of those individuals that have contributed over the years for working with me. We have a lot of work in this community to do. I certainly understand that and appreciate that, and I want to again pledge and redouble my efforts again to work with my colleagues to resolve those issues here in this community. Everywhere I go, I hear individuals talk about going into Plaza or wherever. The other day, I've been into the Stanley Tramp, and somebody bent over and asked me, when I'm get my retroactive money? In the middle of my dance. I understand, and I tell you that I intend to. I just moved legislation again, where we want to identify some funding. We have to address this issue of retroactive money for our seniors. We have an aging community every single day. We're seeing individuals that have really worked hard in this community that's passing on without getting their retroactive money. It's time that we deliver this retroactive money to those individuals, and I'm asking my colleagues, let's join forces to make sure that that happens. Again, today, I look forward, and thank you for being here to celebrate with us. the 36th legislature. I wish all of my colleagues best wishes. We have much work to do, but there's more reasonable people in this community than unreasonable people, so let's continue to work on their behalf. God bless each and every one of you. Good day.
Thank you very much, Senator Noel Francis. Senator Francis will be chairing the Committee on Budget Appropriations and Finance. This is a very critical committee for the functioning of this government. It's crucial for fostering economic stability and growth. Look forward sincerely to working closely with you, Senator Francis. I think I'm going to just take a pause and recognize some people in the audience, some key people in the audience who we failed to recognize. I want to recognize former senator, she's the current Democratic State Chair, Ms. Carol Burke. Ms. Burke. Of course, former Labor Commissioner and former State Chair, Mr. Cecil Benjamin. Mr. Benjamin. I see the VP gave me a little paper with a name, a little cheat sheet. The Attorney General of the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Honorable Gordon Ray. And way in the back in the cheap seats, but very honorable gentleman, Judge, Superior Court Judge, Alfonso Andrews. Welcome, sir. And did we, the PSC Executive Director, Sandra Satori. Satori, you there? Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. And I think we covered. Casino Commission Director, Director Marvin Pickering. Mr. Pickering, thank you. We got everybody covered now, right? I think so. Thank you very much. Next, we're going to ask Mr. Senator Clifford Joseph to be recognized for your 3 minutes. You're recognized, Senator Joseph.
Good morning, everyone. And let's thanks and praise to the Lord for all of us being able to make it here today. I must say from where I came, in order for us to understand the wanting to be part of restoring the Virgin Island, not only St. Croix. St. Croix is where I know the most, and St. Croix is where I live. And I have family, and I do traverse all the other islands. As far as St. John, when I was the director, I would say up to today, if you ask anybody who worked in the fire service when I was there, ain't no other director visit St. John more than Clifford Joseph. So I am here to serve and committed to serve and committed to just about any job that I ever took the time to assume. I show up to work every day. I thank the Lord again, because I don't go years without being sick. So if I ain't sick, I get to work. So we understand. Mornings, nights, whatever it is. But I will start off with first thanking the Lord again for my parents, the late Christopher Joseph and Gloria Joseph, who helps not only St. Croix, but the territory-wide. She does help people. So if you understand where my link come in working and commitment and helping will come a lot from my mom, the ties that she gave and the time that she gave. She actually brought 4 children in this world, but raised over 10 of us. So from my eldest sister, Linda, I just say my baby sister, but my older sister too, Carlos Joseph, here with us. Christopher Joseph, my brother. Marianne, you hear Frederick talk, but his sister, Tracy. Tracy was raised by Gloria Joseph. That's where she been. And although she's being raised by Gloria Joseph, she still have to go visit her parents, because that's part of it. But again, as I go down the line, we have Karen, Kalila, Randa. And again, if you're listening, it's all girls. Are you listening clear? It's only 2 boys. I go in again. We have Beverly. And again, when we start to talk about togetherness, this is a household that is bound by migration. My father born in Antigua. And all these other individuals I'm speaking about, all of those are from my father's side of the family. None of them is from her side of the family. So when I, for sure, care about people, and I am caring about St. Croix, that's why I gave up. Whatever it is to make sure that I'm part of restoring our Virgin Islands. So who old enough to know how good it was? You live to see how bad it is, and I pray that you're going to live to see how good we're going to make it. That's the plan. So I understand the institution and my strength, again, because I customer be wrong numbers. First to understand, all can't be my way. And that's something that we are going to learn by each other. But I'm strong to my own point. If I feel something is right, I stick with it till the end. If you could convince me that I'm wrong, I going to let it go. You know what I'm saying? Again, along here with me is my wife, Marilyn. Committed again. When I first met my wife, and she was pregnant with my first child, the teachers in the school, I want young people to understand what's going on here. All of them convinced her, this man going to New York, he's not coming back. So again, I proved them wrong. So I going to show her, that's what I'm about. I like to make sure we win the naysayers. But before I go too far into my personal business, I want to thank my committee. And of course, my mom is not here, but her representative is here today, which is Lavon Robles. Yes. But I want to thank the committee. Lavon been on the committee too, so. And everybody else, you could stand who they here with me today because everyone here helped me. So I'll stand up. I ain't going to. That's Green on the end. Charmaine, Jennifer McIntosh, and of course Kian with that big smile up front. Ellie, I didn't even know where you squeeze you in, so I'm looking for you. That's you see, if I have following direction, I said to stand, it would have been a lot easier for me. You see, but again, Clifford Joseph, committed to solve. I thank everybody for being here today. Hey, I think everybody in this room vote for me too. You hear, Caught? Everybody in this room vote for me. We have all registered voters visiting here today. Anyway, again, everybody enjoy yourself and enjoy the day.
Thank you very much, Senator Joseph. I don't think I've ever met somebody on the streets who did not vote for me. I've never met that person. Senator Joseph will be chairing the Committee on Homeland Security, Justice, and Public Safety. We served as cabinet members together under the Mapato administration. And Senator, I look forward to working closely with you. As we know, safety and security in our territory is of paramount importance and significance. So you will be chairing a very critical committee. So thank you very much. We have 2 additional persons who we want to identify in the audience. Former District State Chair, St. Croix District State Chair, Renee McAlpin. Yeah? Okay. And former Assistant Administrator, Don Roos. Stand there. She's a very Next, we're going to ask Senator Ray Fonseca. You're recognized for your 3 minutes, Senator.
Thank you so kindly, Mr. President, and we give thanks and praises to the Most High and blessings. St. Croix, you know, I have to first acknowledge a strong supporter of mine from St. Croix, Miss Jasmine John. Thank you, Jasmine. And we got here from Grove Place. She moved from St. Croix to St. Thomas to help me, Miss Wade. She's a cushion St. Tomion. And of course, we got Beverly Samuel. Thank you, thank you. Of course, our Chief of Staff, Delvin Doggins. I think I got the best Chief of Staff. They're back home on St. Thomas. You know, I want to tell you a little bit because, you know, most of my career in the government, I've always had an office in St. Croix. When I used to be the Chief Executive Officer for the Housing Authority, we was over there in Aero Diaz. With the Mental Health Director, we was in the old Charles Harwood, now the Donna Christensen. And of course, now as a senator, I have an office here. So, and after the hurricanes, I moved over here for 9 months because we was rebuilding the Kmarts in Sunny Island, also west. So I've had an office in St. Croix and lived in St. Croix a lot of the time. You know, I think I'm going to have to rely on some of them votes from C. Joseph here in the next election. Well, sir, Papa. You know, so I have to thank my colleagues in the 36th legislature. They've re-elected me to serve as the chair of the Committee on Health, Hospitals, and Human Services. And, you know, on a serious matter, you know, we cannot afford to have all those long wait lines in the emergency room. Right now, you know, the Charles Harwood, the Wang Louis Hospital, okay, is a modular unit. The lifespan is 7 years maximum with good maintenance. You know, we are in year 6, okay, depending on when you start the clock. In addition, you know, the kidney dialysis patients now have to leave, go outside to use the bathroom. Okay, it's unacceptable. Okay, in addition, we need, and I'm serious about this, the governor to declare a hospital state of emergency immediately. Thank you. Immediately, because we have to be able to complete the design, the procurement, and the construction for all the hospitals. It includes also the Myra Keaton Clinic on St. John and the Roy Lester Snyder Hospital. It's almost $2 billion just with those 3 items. But even more so, if you add the numbers, we have between $15 to $17 billion in federal disaster recovery. And like I said yesterday, if you have $15 billion and you spend $1 billion a year, it is going to take you 15 years to spend the money. If you spend $500 million, which is half of $1 billion, it's going to take you 30 years. If you spend $250 million, it's going to take you 60 years. We are spending at $250 million. The federal government, ladies and gentlemen, is not going to let us keep that money for 60 years. We need a health state of emergency right now so we can get the hospitals procured. Also, we need to address the elderly community. My time was called? Okay, and so we need to address this urgently. I want to congratulate our Vice President, Mr. Gittins. I know he's going to talk about it. He got a little grandson just born. So congratulations, Senator Gittins. I had to preempt you on that because that is a blessing. Yes, yes. So, you know, to go to Frankie Johnson, you know, I'm going to have to come to Cruz to get a couple votes. We have about 500 people receive a cancer diagnosis every year in the Virgin Islands. We're building the new Charlotte Kindelman Cancer Center. It's going to be equipped with a CT simulator and a linear accelerator. We also need to have a surgical oncologist. It's going to cost about $500,000 a year. We need to fund this so that our people don't have to leave to get the cancer care. In addition, we have to hire more emergency room physicians. The hospitals say they need 2, so we're going to put in the budget for 2. You have to pay them $320,000. Right now, the low-income physicians is costing us about $460,000. It saves money. Let's hire them. We need more nurses. We need more patient care technicians. Governor, we're begging you, let's declare a hospital state of emergency immediately. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. President, for the time.
Thank you very much, Senator Fonseca. You make a persuasive argument. Senator Fonseca will be chairing, as you know, the Committee on Health, Hospitals, and Human Services. Quality and affordable health care isn't just a nice thing to have. It is a human right. It is a necessity. So this is something that we will be prioritizing in the 36th legislature, Senator. I want to recognize Ms. Lorraine Matthews, a friend of mine, who is the Director of Vital Statistics, Territorial Director for the government of the Virgin Islands. She's looking up in the air like, what? Stand and wave, thank you. Next up, we're going to ask Senator Maurice James to proceed with your 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, Virgin Islanders, near and far, inside and outside this room. Bidden or not bidden, God is present. I'd like to, first of all, recognize my husband, Anthony Paul. That's his name, but people call him Anthony, people call him Paul, and people call him Pablo. That's him right here, and my daughter, Sydney, who's here today. My daughter, Camille, is in the military, and so today duty calls, and she could not be here with us. Jordan is in California, and his car is packed, ready to go if the fire reaches where he lives. So he and all Virgin Islanders who are in California are in our prayers and thoughts. Today, I really just want to focus on my campaign team, and especially those who worked at the polls. Jeanette Guzman, Marilyn Charles, Ryan Charles, Giovanni Peter, Christopher Schuster, Joel Brathwaite, Michelle Francis, Cassandra King, Saida Carter, Marisha Maynard, you know her as Mother Nile, Bridget Williams, Ashel Bilardo, Sharma Cuthbert, James Sweeney, Leona Johnson, Deborah Bruce, Omara Vasquez, Joel Daniel. Don Bruce is here with me, and Geraldine Vaval are also here with thank you. My comrades in the Virgin Islands National Guard, retired and active, those inside and outside of the Virgin Islands, you guys, I don't have enough words to express my appreciation and love that I have for all of you. I want to thank Carlota and Bob Moorhead, Laureen Williams, you really helped turn things around. DeAndre Atwell, you jump-started my campaign. Pastor Lawrence and June Rogier, who stood with me every step of the way. Lisa Moorhead, Joyce Parker, my Espinosa and James family members, thank you for keeping me focused on what truly matters. Thank you to the residents of St. Thomas and St. John who also supported my campaign. Several of my supporters, when I began in 2022, Virginia, Jean-Pierre, Dexter Bordes, who lived in Maryland, my 2 aunts, Juanita and Mercedes Espinosa, all passed away last year. And it is a reminder that we have limited time on earth, and so we have to do good and serve others. Thank you to all my donors and voters of St. Croix who expressed their confidence in me. This victory is not just mine, it is ours. It is because of your unwavering support, your tireless dedication, and your belief in our shared vision that I stand here today. I did not achieve all that I would have liked to achieve in my first term. 2 years is short, and I encountered a lot of obstacles, internal and external. But what I did accomplish, I could not have done without my staff, Glory V. Christian Krieger, Joel Mercado, Juanita Phillip, Karen McIntosh Bruce. Thank you, Karen, for my campaign jingle, and Alwyn Baptiste for helping with that. It definitely made a difference. Thank you to the central staff of the legislature. You have been so kind to me during my first term, and especially this week with my injury. And so today I want to quote Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. And it's the little things that you have done for me, central staff, St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, that I will remember. When you are kind to someone, they remember you forever. And I am grateful to you as my co-workers. I want to welcome Sonia Andrew as my new Chief of Staff. Sonia. In a few weeks, I have interacted with you. I have seen your commitment, dedication to service, and strong work ethic. Colleagues, Dr. Martin Luther King wrote, "We should never forget that everything Hitler did in Germany was legal, and everything the Hungarian freedom fighters did in Hungary was illegal." Dr. King's quote highlights the distinction between legality and morality. Some laws are simply morally and ethically wrong. The question before us is not whether we have followed the legislative process, but whether we have upheld the principles of justice, fairness, and human dignity. If our law places undue burdens on the people we serve, if it strips away rights rather than protecting them, then we have a moral duty to correct our course. Our responsibility is not just to pass laws, it is to pass just laws. I want to say this, Senator Britt Bryan was with us on Monday. He served in the 10th legislature. And I'm just going to call before I end, because this is so important to me. Look at the people he served with in the 10th legislature: Claude Malloy, Addie Atley, John Maduro, Verdon Brown, Britt Bryan, of course, Hector Cintron, Eric Dawson, Wang Louis, Cyril King, Alexander A. Moorhead Jr., Elmo Roebuck, Ruby Rouse, Noble B. Samuel, Albert Sheen, Raymond Smith, who succeeded Addie Atley because he became lieutenant governor, and Lloyd L. Williams. Giants. We have models, people who we should be following, people who serve this community with distinction. And I want to say, by its very definition, public service means you will not be wealthy unless you know how to invest the little you get and turn it into a lot. When I became a teacher in the Virgin Islands, my first year I was making $6,000, and the tuition for the college I graduated from was $8,000 a year. I made less than the tuition. Jimmy Carter, when he left the White House, and talk about honesty and integrity in government, he was broke, he was in debt, because he didn't do anything to make any extra money, because he was honest, and he knew as a public servant that you cannot be rich in public service. That's the definition of public service, to serve the public. If you want to be rich, go into the private sector, okay? All of us need to understand that as public servants, every single one of us. And that's from the person who has to inspect contracts to the very governor of the Virgin Islands. Every single one of us, okay? Work brings profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. Let's stop talking around us. Proverbs 14:23. We talk about meetings, and then nothing happens. Nothing happens. So, Virgin Islanders, I am here to fight for you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for giving me the honor and the privilege to serve you for the $85,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Senator Maurice James. Senator James will be chairing the Committee on Disaster Recovery, Infrastructure, and Planning, which is a very crucial, critical committee for providing oversight of our hurricane recovery process and ensuring that vital rebuilding projects to include our schools and our hospitals and our roads are effectively managed. Senator Maurice James and I mentioned yesterday we were both born on November 22nd. So she is a very special person. I appreciate you, Senator James, and look forward sincerely to working with you in the 36th legislature. Senator Marvin Blyden, you're recognized for your 3 minutes.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Good morning to my colleagues, the listening and viewing audiences, staff, central staff. Good morning to the people of St. Croix. Good morning. I always start by giving God thanks and praise because without him, I would not be here and none of this would be possible. You look at the seal and the wall, united in pride and hope. We are hopeful people here in the Virgin Islands. We are prideful also. And I know on Tuesday I spoke about quality of life issues here in the territory. And I come from humble beginnings. I'm the 11th of 13 children. Same parents. And we grew up having a difficult time, but my parents, I'm so proud of, was proud of them. They are both deceased, but my grandfather, Tello, worked on a landfill burning copper to sell, to support his family. My dad was a construction worker. He was a builder, an excellent builder, and a taxi driver. My mother was a cook and a Sunday school teacher. I come from humble beginnings. I know who I am and from whence I came. And I respect what they did as a people and as my parents. And we never had it easy. And that's why I'm the type of person I am. I'm very hopeful. I'm the most optimistic person you can ever meet. I don't understand what it means to fail. I don't know what I mean. I understand what hard work means, and I understand the value of hard work. Being honest, being loyal, being dedicated. I'm never afraid to roll up my sleeve and work hard on behalf of my people. I want to say in terms of my experiences, I worked at the Housing Authority for 21 plus years. And I understand the struggle of my people on a daily basis. I know all my tenants in all the different housing communities by name. All the family members I name because of my dedication and my commitment to them. Because I know without them being in those communities, I wouldn't have a job. The same thing on a senator. You guys are our bosses, and we understand your struggles, and we know what you're going through. And that's why we understand our position where we're at. As senators, we are public servants first. Public servants first. Service before self. At least that's what I understand it to be. And that's how I operate. I know it no other way. And as a sixth term sitting senator, the ranking member in the St. Thomas St. John district, I am so grateful and thankful to my people in that district for giving me another opportunity to serve on their behalf. Because they understand my commitment. They know my work. They know my worth. And my actions will always define who I am. And my action speaks volume. Even before I got here, from the Housing Authority, even before I got here, I went above and beyond for my tenants because I understood what they meant to me and why I was there. You must understand your purpose. I'm a servant. I'm a public servant. I'm not a politician. I'm in a game of politics. But I am not a politician, real talk. I'm a public servant first. I have always been. I will continue to be, despite. And in closing, because I heard my time and I do not like to go over, but in closing, I must say again, we have work to do. We have work to do, some serious work. We have a lot of low-hanging fruits that we can attack right away. We have a lot of quality of life issues that we can tackle. And we speak about the senators. But you know what? This term, I'm not an officer, but I have a lot of time on my hand, more time. And I'm telling you, my colleague, the elected vice president, used to say all the time, and the majority leader, middle management, need to step up. They do. But not only them, the employees also. We all in it together. Because all of them don't know a part, we ain't got no place for us. Okay? And I know we like to blame the senators alone, But guess what? Moving forward, it'll be all of us together because we are in this together. We're all public servants. We're here to serve the public. Okay? So that's my speech for today. I'm not going to get controversial. I am not going to get controversial, but I'm going to keep it real. That's all I know, to keep it real, okay? So I want to thank everyone again. Thank the people of St. Croix. Thank the people of St. Croix for their support, because they support me in many ways that many of you do not know about. They support me. And I'm thankful and grateful, and I want to thank my colleagues again for honestly being there for me, and Central Star, because they're awesome. Thanks again, everybody. Stay blessed and have a good day. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. President.
Proceed.
The most important thing I forgot to introduce. I should be talking. My wife. Well, I forget. I remembered. My wife, Jacqueline Blyden. Thank you for being here and always supporting me. My chief of staff is head missionary. I want to mention my other staff members, Mr. Krieger, Ms. Ortiz, and Ms. Danielle. And thank all of you guys for really, really being there for me, because without you, I couldn't make this mission possible, because it is a serious mission. Almost mission impossible, but guess what? We get it done. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Senator Blyden. It's vital for every citizen in this community to have access to safe, affordable housing and telecommunication services without question. And Senator Marvin Blyden chairs a very important committee on housing, transportation, and telecommunications. Senator Blyden, we sincerely look forward to working with you closely in the 36th legislature. Before moving on, it is important that we recognize the students from St. Joseph High School in the back. We are honored, led by their teacher, Miss St. Clair. It just says a lot that you saw this as a priority event to attend, so we appreciate you very much. Thank you. Next, Senator Kurt Violet. Senator, you're recognized for your 3 minutes. Our majority leader.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Blyden felt the invisible kick from behind. That's why he got back up to recognize his wife. It hit him so hard that he just bolted up. Good recovery. I want to thank God for giving me the strength to run in what is my 6th election. And unlike Novel, I had 12, I have 11 election cycle. And I have consistently won the island of St. Croix. So I am humbled by the support that I have received from the many residents of St. Croix. Some 5,000 plus votes in the last election. I am humbled, very humbled by their support. But I have a wonderful team behind me. I have a number of campaign volunteers on St. Croix, and they really go all out on a regular basis, and I'm appreciative of that. And I brought a number of them here with me today, different from what I had in St. Thomas, and I'd like to recognize them. Barbara Harvey. You guys can stand and raise your hand. Barbara South. Diane Alec. Juanita Bonique. Patricia Evans. Risa Adams. Sammy Sierra. And Janice St. Clair, can you stand? And Janice was my English department chair when I opened the St. Clair Educational Complex, and then she became my assistant principal, and then she went on to be the principal of Central High School. But now she's moonlighting at St. Joseph since she retired. And she invited me to speak to these students at St. Joseph during the election cycle. And when I invited her, she said, can we bring the students so that they can be a part of the process and understand the process? So that's a good thing. Thank you, Janice. I also want to recognize my staff, Ms. Glory V. Christian Krieger, Puerto Rican Crucian. They're with me from 2014. And Ms. Samantha, who's trying to keep her head straight, like I'm not going to remember her name. Ms. Samantha Prentice. And new staff member, Ms. Janella John. You know, the good thing for me is that both of these individuals were my students. So I didn't have to learn who they are because I know them from 12, 13 years old. And Samantha has been with me from 2014. Both of them are students. I also want to thank my family, my wonderful wife. We've been married for 35 years. You always, she wanted to get up. Well, make her get up today. If you see me, you see her. And if we go out and you don't see her, they ask me, where is Wanda? If she go out and they don't see me, where is Kurt? So I said blessings because I could never cheat on you and you could never cheat on me. Somebody gonna tell us immediately, I don't know. So don't ever think and don't ever think. So you say she's sitting no quick now. But it is a good thing, and my daughters, they had to leave. They left right after the swearing-in ceremony, so they're back in South Carolina and North Carolina. Kimberly's Vele, who's the youngest one, and Carissa Vele, who is my older daughter, who's a civil engineer. And I'll just deviate 1 second. Cancer is beatable because my oldest was diagnosed at 1 year old with neuroblastoma. She had stage 4 metastasized neuroblastoma, chemotherapy, radiation, bone marrow transplant. She's now 33 years old. She's a survivor. And when she went through everything, they said they were worrying about cognitive issues because they had to radiation and her cranium. The girl graduated in the top 5 of her class, and she's a civil engineer. So I said, well, if anything went wrong, I don't know what it was. I don't know where I've been. You know, but a lot was said today. You know, and it's a celebration, so you always want to try to keep it as positive as possible. And before I go there, I'm seeing the premier Republican of St. Croix, Mr. Dave Johnson, son of man. This is one of St. Croix business owners who is very good for St. Croix. Cane Bay Cares, that's him. He does a lot of work in schools and the community. He's an active member of St. Croix, and he's trying to do more and more to make sure that St. Croix economy continues to grow. So I'm thankful for him being here. You know, I want to thank my dad. I almost said it again. My dad is home. I was trying to bring him today, but he said, outside cold, the wind blowing. And he called me this morning. He said, you hear that wind outside? So I said, what I mean, it really ain't coming. He said, it took cold. I have on the TV. It's already to the station. I'm going to watch you. You know, but he's making 96, so he could do whatever he wants. So he wants to come, he come. He doesn't want to come, I'm good with it. And in mentioning his name, Alma Francis Heiliger, my dad purchased a piece of land back in the late 50s. He has not returned to St. Thomas. So be careful. be careful when you're purchasing land on St. Croix. That's all I'm saying. Now, before I close up, the president spoke about that callaloo. But you could tell he's a St. Thomian. Because he said, Crucian seafood callaloo. Crucian pork callaloo is authentic, okay? So, I want to be the pork. The pigtail, the salt beef, add to the callaloo so that we could bring everything together and really make it good, okay? So I want to be the pork. The Democratic leadership, some of my favorite people, welcome. Carol, welcome. But I want to close out a bit by saying, listen, we have serious issues facing the Virgin Islands. And St. Croix isn't in a great place. And we all know it, we all feel it, we all see it. The Virgin Islands lost over 20,000 individuals from 2017 to 2020. Have we been able to stop that decline? I don't think so. So we probably have lost about 26,000, 27,000 people by now. So we're down to about 80,000 individuals. So the tax base has been eroded. There are a lot of other factors that come along with a decline in population. And unless we collectively as senators are able to improve the quality of life on St. Croix, the numbers are going to continue to decrease. And there are key elements. There are key elements that's causing the decrease. The quality of healthcare, it just seems to continue to decline. And it is not an issue about money. I'm hearing everybody with everything saying money, money, money. It's an issue about oversight. It's an issue about management. Holding management accountable and responsible. Because you could give as much money. You could give as much money as you want, and if you don't internally change the structure, it's going to continue to be the same. And I hear a good senator argument with the state of emergency, and I hear you and I understand why. But we have had a state of emergency for mental health from Governor Mapp. We had a state of emergency for mental health, and nothing has improved. This body passed measure after measure after measure to deal with mental health. So now it's about implementation. It is about holding them accountable and responsible. We have a state of emergency for WAPA. Nothing changed. Holding them responsible and accountable. And I told my colleagues, that's our job. We can't implement. We pass bills. We appropriate monies. We can't implement. But we could do one thing. We could call them before this body and ask the hard questions. But if we call them here and we're laughing and joking with them, and when we get to a good question again, the answer's out, you say, I will move on, I don't want to go there. Then we're not going to bring about change. So my push as majority leader is push, 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 until they understand that when they are called to testify before this body, that they're going to make sure that they are prepared and they could provide us with answers and they could provide us with timelines as to when stuff will be completed. Because St. Croix looks like a big construction zone with no end in sight as to when the projects will be completed. And I'll finish now. Paulie Joseph Stadium, God knows when. The highway from Home Depot, they're in the road for 2-3 years now. When will it be completed? The racetrack, we need to get that going. When will it be completed? There's just various projects that we need to get done. So we have met, and we have all collectively said that we are going to provide that oversight. In our respective committees, we are going to provide that oversight. And we have kind of given ourselves a 60-day window to bring about some change, to show that we're going to have some oversight, to have some meetings where the community will be able to say the Senate is moving in the right direction because they're holding individuals responsible, and at the same time, we're being diplomatic and respectful when they come before us. But that is our job. To colleagues, like I did in St. Thomas, congratulations to each and every one of you. The work is here. Gotta hit the ground running. And we're going to fundamentally bring about some change for the Virgin Islands, for St. Croix. People are just looking for incremental progress. They just want to say that today is a little bit better than yesterday. And if we do that, we're good. Thank you, St. Croix. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Senator Veely. Senator Veely will be chairing the Committee on Education and Workforce Development. I firmly believe that education is the great equalizer. We have a responsibility as leaders to provide our children with the best, highest quality education that money can buy. It is our responsibility. I think none of us here came from means, you know, but I think one thing that my parents always stressed, as people who did not have a formal education, they stressed the importance of, they had the wisdom and the insights to stress the value of having a high-quality education. So we look forward to Senator Veely chairing that very critical commission. Thank you, committee. Thank you very much, Senator Violet. We sincerely look forward to working with you closely in the 36th legislature. Next up, we have our Secretary of the 36th legislature, Senator Avery Lewis. Senator Lewis, you're recognized for your 3 minutes.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I had to check my watch. But first and foremost, I'd like to thank God for giving me health and strength. And if I look a little sleepy, it's because every morning, starting from about 4 o'clock, I got some prayer warriors who call me. Some ants and things away, and I can't say no to them. You just have to listen. And they'll check you, you know. Because in between the prayer, they ask a question, and if you don't answer, I don't think you'll get a call anymore. But I want to thank my aunt, Hilaire, Aunt Millicent, my mom, who couldn't be here today, all my aunts, because they're real prayer warriors, and they really call and pray on me and bless me. My mother owns a daycare in St. Thomas, and you know, she really loves the children, and she couldn't be here today. But she went to St. John, she went to the legislative chambers in St. Thomas, she went to everything, but not today. I know she's watching. Mommy, love you. Thank you for everything. But this morning, she said, before I go to work, Eve, do me one thing. Trust in God. And for God's sake, leave the people them thing alone. Don't take up one yours. Mommy, I hear you. I'm listening. I got in trouble in St. Thomas because my #1 fan, my true trooper, my sister, I forget to recognize. And I had to ask for a point of personal privilege to recognize her after. So I ain't doing that today. My sister Arnel, Lois Commission, registered nurse, another one of our healthcare workers. Her husband couldn't make it today. He's a surgeon. And, you know, he probably walking, patching up somebody. But anyhow, he's doing good. My good campaign manager, Mr. Horman Hart, is here with me today. Miko, stand up, man. When I've been an elementary school teacher, and years ago, they sent a set of us from St. Thomas over to St. Croix. I think Senator Valley probably remember this. We was at the DV, we were setting the cut score for the praxis test. And I met a lot of teachers, man. But I met this one, her name Nicole Richardson Gerard. But I think she chop off Gerard. I know every time I call her, it's something different. Assistant principal to complex, Miss Nicole Richardson Gerard. I always have my back. I always could call. That's right. And I walk with another ride or die. Mr. Michael Blackseed Christian. Some of you know the fellow, but anyhow, that's my friend. And to my campaign team, friends, supporters, everybody that gave me that vote of confidence, even who couldn't vote, that gave me that blessing and said, go forward, Avery. I thank you. To my former colleagues, just know I love you, but when you come here, I have to ask you the tough questions. So come prepared. So let me make that clear. And I don't say it in St. Thomas that nobody sent me. God sent me to serve the people of the Virgin Islands. I just want to say, just tell you a true story that what happened to me along the journey of campaigning and canvassing. A morning we had a debate. Marvin, you remember this? A forum at Ivana Udorekan High School. And the students, a question was asked, what would you as a senator do to retain the children of the Virgin Islands here? And I said, wow, that's a loaded question. And I started to talk. But afterwards, several of them met me outside and they said, you know, I liked your answer, but take a couple other things with it. And they said, after high school, I would like to start a family. And we need affordable housing. We need affordable health care. We need good salaries. And I think those students were on point. They were batting good. And I went home and I write down everything. Man, I changed up my platform, everything. I had all my thing them. So I said to Housing Authority and Housing Finance, we knocking down another thing. We're going to start building. We don't knock down enough. It's time to build up and offer it to the people of the Virgin Islands. To the VIPD, we're going to step up and protect and solve a little better. To all our law enforcement officers, this thing about it ain't my job and it ain't your job, I done with that. Because from the numbers I seen, the pay is looking good. To the hospitals and health and human services, we're going to offer as much services as we could to the people of the Virgin Islands. And we're going to treat everybody with love like this family. Because sometimes the only time I see love in this place is after a hurricane. And it only lasts for 2-3 days. You got water, you got, oh, my time call. I'm in trouble again. But anyhow, I'm going to end and say to my colleagues, I commit and pledge to working hard with you all and with the people of the Virgin Islands. I ain't forget. I ain't forget. Right? And everybody talked about their staff. I only about 3 or 4 days deep. But I have an awesome team already. They don't sleep. I have Ms. Joy Peterson Benison, my chief of staff. My legislative aide, Ms. Lastar Watley, she only get education a little bit more, couple days notice. Then she coming right over with me. So Dr. Wells Hendrington, you're going to lose her. Just letting you know ahead of time. Yeah, just a little fire. Anyhow, and to the Crucians, I ain't getting any food war. But just know, I appreciate your cuisine. Because I take my fastness, get on WTJX and say, Lord, I just had a plate of crab and rice from Miss Janet, bro. And the people that said that was waiting at the airport for me. So me saying another word, just know, I like your cuisine, and wherever you give me go yam. Everybody have a wonderful day, and together we're going to get this territory turned around.
Thank you so very much, Senator Lewis, former St. Thomas administrator. Senator Lewis will be chairing the Committee on Government Operations, which is really vital to ensuring transparency, accountability, and efficiency in government. So we will be utilizing our oversight responsibilities and with your committee taking the lead. Before we go any further, I'm going to exercise my, take some liberties as president of the institution and ask my sister, who flew in from Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, a couple days ago, and she performed a poem at the Emancipation Garden yesterday. And you know this thing to walk the cruise and say, look, on Monday, you did it on St. Thomas. If you want to leave St. Croix, make sure she does it on St. Croix also. So we wanted to give the Crucians an opportunity to hear directly from my sister, Lydia Potter, with her poem.
Okay, I give thanks to the Most High. Giving thanks to the Most High. On the turquoise skies, all are we? Nestled in the Caribbean Sea, with pristine white sands and blue waters, oscillations to common rhythms, a beauty that's captivating, yet a microcosm of a divided nation, finding ourselves at crossroads that we must navigate. Exhausted at times from the pushing and the pulling, the left and right views, a bit confusing, and yes, the many opportunities to soar like the eagle, showing freedom and strength, spreading our wings as we climb to mountaintop, swim to Megan's Bay and snorkel at Buck Island Reef, or bask in the sunshine at Trung Bay with a cold glass of Marby. Yeah, that kind of easy that keeps us laid back and driven. A determination that keeps us thriving. We can easily be distracted by the beauty of VI living. No legacies for our sons and daughters if we forget the mission. The TikToking, Facebooking, cancel culturing, interjecting opinion when there's so many cracks in us. But real talk is the water and the power, the Irmas and the Marias shifting landscape and rearranging our furniture. And yes, another man down, caught up in a pandemic that touches us all. Everything happens for a reason. One of many platitudes that leave our heads spinning. Seems that no society is immune in a world inured by violence. We give up our freedom by becoming slaves to the masters called trauma and hatred and greed. Pivoting from chaos and echoing change is how we grow. We live in societies where we have recycled histories, so many left with holes where hearts used to be. With much bewilderment, we still remember love, empathy, equanimity, forgiveness, kindness, respect, compassion, hope, and dreams not deferred. All a part of the nuances that we collectively share, a shift in perspective when peace finds its way. What will define us is our resiliency, our willingness to be in community and in committee, strengthening together, healing together, solutioning together. Our compromises will birth our victories, making smooth the winding roads that lead through Charlotte Amalie and Christiansted, Fredericksted, and Cruz Bay. Sitting on a one umbrella called the Virgin Islands, eating fry fish and fungi, Johnny cake, sipping on ginger beer and knocking back a shot of Cruisin'. A little food therapy, while dancing to calypso and quilbe that ravishes our soul. We are witnesses to change. As our history speaks through the echoes of our ancestors, with every storm, through the swaying leaves and the bending branches of the flamboyant trees, there's an energy that touches us all. Our differences and our unique flavors colliding like a bowl of kalaloo. We are a melting pot with families extended and neighborhoods blended. A healthy sharing of ideas and opinions, multiple hues creating a complexion that's stunning. An ebbing and a flowing of energies and frequencies, a cacophony of expressions, and the capacity to lean on each other. With one rhythm that echoes unity, that steady bass, pan and Juve morning, Mukujumbi and a multicultural display of poetic artistry, working as hard as we play, enjoying the nightlife as we wind down the day. We are all one family, living in a place called paradise. One energy, one voice, one breath. On a continuous journey, celebrating us, comforted underneath the turquoise skies. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lydia. She's the one in the family who has the talent, so thank you very much for that. Next up, well, before I say next up, I want to recognize the Commissioner of Human Services, my good friend, Commissioner Avril George. Welcome, Commissioner George, to the proceedings. Senator Kenneth Gittins, you're recognized for your 3 minutes. And the Vice President of the 36th Legislature.
Thank you, Mr. President. and good afternoon to all. You know, one thing I love here this morning was that I was listening to my colleagues keenly, and each and every one of you spoke about God and keeping God close to you. To God be the glory, great things he has done. And you know, they always say that great things happen when God mixes with man. And great things are certainly happening. They're probably happening a little too slow, but you heard the commitment here today. 12 others spoke before me, and you heard the commitment. And truly, I feel it. I felt it, and I know that each and every one of my colleagues are committed to working together. As always, I start off thanking the Almighty for all his grace and mercy as well. And I also want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the people of St. Croix who voted for me and even those who did not vote for me. I thank everyone who prayed for me and continue to pray for me. I ask that for sure. I want to recognize a couple family members who are here. Some are not here. I wish they were here. Starting with my mom, I certainly wish she was here, but I know she's looking from above. But let me recognize and if I don't say my big sister, I'm going to hear it later. So my big sister, Yvette, is here. My sister, Ansela, who's hiding behind me. My daughter, Shanette. I wouldn't move to the cousins because it's too many, but I also want to, and before I recognize my staff, Fiona, come here 1 second, please. I want to recognize my staff, Nicole, who is not here with us. She's on St. Thomas looking at the proceedings. I want to recognize Jennifer, who is here with us, and I don't call her my little sister, Michelle, who's also the newest addition to the office. But I called Fiona up here because I told the Senate President, I said, you know, we started this legislature and I still don't know what type of budget I'm working with yet, because you've probably recognized that I'm the only majority member without a committee. But that's because the money can't divvy up no more for an additional committee. But just know that I am committed to doing a lot of work in this term. But I called Fiona up here because, and she don't know this, and I ain't talked to a soul in my office, but she was my chief correspondent. No, you're not fired. But I called you up because publicly I'm promoting you to my office chief of staff today. And I just want you to know how grateful I am for your work. And while the rest of them talking about who got the best chief of staff, they don't understand what's going on here. But they will know. But congratulations. You are the office chief of staff for the office of the Senate Vice President, Kenneth L. Gittens. Congratulations. You know, I would also like to congratulate all my colleagues on your run for office, and even thank all those who offered themselves for public service. This isn't an easy road. You heard a lot of speeches in the last 3 days, especially those of us that were under fire from the naysayers. But again, you got to walk with your head high and think about our former First Lady, Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high, and we're going to stay that way. Uh, we also spoke about the 3 branches of government, and all of us, the 3 branches being a co-equal branch of government, no one more superior to the other. And we have to understand that. Somebody had to come first. So the legislative branch happens to be the first branch of government. But that don't mean that we are the ultimate boss of all. We are 3 separate but co-equal branches of government that should be working for the best interests of the people of this territory. On Monday, I brought up the recent troubling reports that we've been reading, hearing, etc., in the news regarding public corruption. I want to again make it abundantly clear that this senator will hold all men, to include myself, accountable. We have no place for public corruption in our small-knit community. Absolutely none. This behavior certainly will not be tolerated with me sitting here and you not hearing me. And also working towards legislation that will address this, not to get people in trouble, but to prevent this type of behavior from happening. We're humans, we know that things happen, but I want to push that office, the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commission, because I want for our people to have an entity to go to. If you ever believe that something is wrong, if you have to think twice about it, ask a question. You have to have some place to go and ask a question to ensure that you're on the right side of the law and don't find yourself on the opposite side. I was deeply inspired by the ecumenical service on St. John. If you didn't attend or you missed it, I encourage you to listen to it again as we air it. And all across, even up to today, Presiding Elder Hendricks spoke to righteousness. And we heard it from Sunday to today, righteousness. You know, it's living in alignment with God's will. It's not about perfection, but it's about the heart devoted to seeking what's right and acting simply with some integrity. So I thank you for that, and I thank all the clergy who spoke. I wouldn't go through each of them again, but I encourage you all to listen to it. 3 dynamic speakers on Sunday. I've heard the cry of the people on this one, and I agree that there shall be no pay raises to top-level government officials at this time until we could get the landscape of our territory back on par. We must hold people accountable. We heard it from the majority leader and other senators here today. Accountability is key. They always say that we on St. Croix balling. We got to ball because things are moving slow, extremely too slow. We spoke about the Polly Joseph Stadium, which predates the hurricanes. We spoke about the Vincent Mason Pool, the horse track, and we could go on, especially our hospitals. We have to do better and ensure that progress is made on all 3 islands, not just one. It is such a distinct difference as you go between islands, and it shouldn't be like that. So I'm looking forward for us all working together. You know, the legislature has done its job in terms of appropriating funding for various projects, but we clearly must do more. That said, one of the body's first order of business, again, must be to address the salary issue. Again, there should be none at this time. We have retirees out there who deserve the retroactive wages. We have unions out there that we must adhere to the contracts that we've negotiated. We have vendors out there that have done services for this government that have yet to be paid. But yet still, we're looking to prepare NOPAs for top-level government officials. Let me tell you something. They're going to get upset with me. But this is one time I'm going to be driving the legislature to utilize the third branch of government, because I didn't just ask for a legal opinion for nothing. That legal opinion, though they not directly said, told me that Act 8384 was null and void because they did not, the commission did not adhere to the dates within there. To send that report 2 years, 3 months later, and saying we sent it, you should have received it, etc., that has nothing to do with me. It was 2 years late, and therefore, in my opinion, it was null and void. So I want to remind again, if there is any NOPAs being made, hold those NOPAs, because we will take this matter to court. As we begin this new term, I promise you that I will continue to do my best. I promise you to continue to serve with leadership, integrity, fidelity, and efficiency. Simple acronym, it's about life. Leadership, integrity, fidelity, and efficiency. Some of my campaign workers are here. Some of my well-wishers are here. The majority leader already called out Dave Johnson, who is a supporter of this whole community. Thank you for being here. Peter, who could not be here either because he's traveling, but Peter is the one that's have that whole corridor out in the Gallows Bay area, finally looking like someplace that we call home, what the place used to be like. We have to address this historic preservation. My colleague from St. Thomas always said there's a difference between things being historic and things being old. And I totally agree with that. It's about time that we start to make our towns look vibrant and energizing once again. I heard the ship blowing this morning, didn't even realize there was a ship in town today. But these people don't want to come off the ship to see old broken down buildings. So please, colleagues, let's do that together. I must mention my daughter lastly, who is not here, Shante. Oh man, I am so proud. I'm sorry that Senator Fonseca broke some HIPAA laws here today, because I don't know why he said it before me, but congratulations to you. 9-pong bouncing baby boy. That FaceTime call this morning was just the utmost, best. And before I get teary-eyed, I'm going to just say thank you all for being here, but congratulations again. Love you all. Oh, Mr. Hansen, Mrs. Hansen, oh my goodness, that's here with me. These are the elders on my campaign committee. 91 or 92 years old and going, and I always have to ask him to please slow down. Let the young people go ahead, but I want to thank you all so much. Mrs. Hansen was a co-worker of my mom at Public Health. We are always talking about the health conditions around here, the state of affairs, and yes, we're going to work towards that end. Senator Johnson is going to make sure of that along with the Health Committee Chair. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Love you. If I missed you, it's not intentional. We just can't do everything. Not Mrs., but Miss Potter, thank you so much for that poem. I asked that you do it before me because the majority leader as well reminded your brother that ain't no kalaloo without pork in there. And your poem was so on point. You spoke about the fish and fungi and the kalaloo, but again, you missed the sauce and potato salad. So that's what I publicly wanted to tell you, okay? I know it seems like you and your brother have a thing against pork, but I have met some doctors that said it's good for you in some aspects, okay? Thank you all.
You say you have a doctor. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Senator Kenny Giddens. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your willingness to serve as Vice President of this institution. Congratulations to you on that bouncing baby boy. 9 pounds, that's a circle of life, and we appreciate that. You know, I want to just start by thanking you once again, thanking the people of the Virgin Islands for giving me the opportunity to serve. My mother, I always mentioned, never really had a formal education, but she was wise beyond her, you know, the limited education that she received. And she always told us that service is a noble calling of the highest order. I don't know where she found it. I don't know where she read it. But that is something that she instilled in us all the time. She also said to me that a good name in man and woman is truly the jewel of their souls. He who steals my purse steals trash, but he who filches from me my good name robs me of that which enriches him not, but makes me poor indeed. Protecting my good name and reputation means everything to me. That is how I was raised. I understand how political positions go. You can't possibly do everything that will make everybody happy. It's just impossible. Somebody is going to be a naysayer. Somebody is going to disagree. Even in this body, I just want to stress to my colleagues the importance of understanding that two people can look at a set of facts, look at a situation, and come down differently. Doesn't mean that they are somehow disloyal to the Virgin Islands. Doesn't mean that they are sellouts. It means that they honestly looked at the facts and they see it differently. And somehow in our community, we tend to believe that it always has to go our way. And if you compromise, it means that you're selling out. Politics is the art of compromise. To get things done in this community, there has to be a willingness to compromise. And then we turn the page, and then we debate, and we share our thoughts and our perspective, and we move on. You don't support my initiative? We move on. And somebody mentioned it the other day. And my prayer for the 36th legislature, and I have to admit, I feel a different energy. I've not been here very long. This is my third time in this sort of scenario. But I think the energy that I am feeling is something a little different. I'm very hopeful that my colleagues and I will be willing and committed to working together in unison with the primary goal and objective being improving the quality of life for the people of the Virgin Islands without any hidden agendas or personal ambition. If we can zero in and focus on that for the next 2 years, we can do some tremendous things in the Virgin Islands community. I think we need to focus. We have to focus on what is best. What is best about us and our character. That is what we really need to focus our energies and our attention on. But I want to thank my wife, Paulette, for being here. It's always a blessing when you work in these types of environments. It makes a difference when on the home front you can go home in an environment that's safe and warm and nurturing. And a good plate of food. And peaceful. It really makes a difference for you to get up and get a motivation to come back the next day, because you know you're in there for the whole 24 hours. there's a point where you can go home and refresh and rejuvenate. So I am very much appreciative to that, and I don't take it for granted one bit. I want to thank my children, my two sons, Dakari and Javen, who couldn't be here today. My son, Javen, the youngest one, is in Erie, Pennsylvania, of all places. He chose it. I didn't send him there. Complaining about the cold. And my son, Dakari, who is home with us. So I want to thank my staff. You're only as good as the quality and caliber of the people you surround yourself with. I want to thank my staff, my chief of staff, Mr. Cosmic Christian. I will hold him up to any other chief of staff, even Fiona, the new chief of staff here today. But I have a great deal of love for Fiona Stokes. Fiona was, when I came back home, she was a part of my very first Upward Bound group. So I understand the quality and the caliber of person you're getting in Fiona Stokes. I want to thank my staff, Mr. Cosmic Christian, Dwayne, Pauline. Pauline is here. Pauline is back here. Stand up, Pauline. Let people see you. Pauline, Clinton Stapleton, Dale George. And we're going to be, we know, we understand, and Senator Francis, you know, he was scaring me a little bit. But I understand the challenges of being responsible for running an independent branch of government while at the same time doing what the people of the Virgin Islands elected you to do, which is to pass bills and focus on issues that improve the quality of life for the territory. So I understand the challenges and the complexity of that, but I challenge this group, and I am very comfortable and very confident that every single member of this body who is here today has a talent and a gift and something to offer that collectively, as Michael Jordan said, it's, you know, talent wins games, but teamwork wins championships. So working together, we can do great things for the people of the Virgin Islands. I want to thank you very much. I know lunch is next, right? So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. We have 2 points of personal privilege, beginning with you, Senator Bolkers. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And wait, sorry, I apologize. So I want to thank my sister, Patricia Potter, in the back. Thank you, Patricia, for being here. I forgot her yesterday, and I can't do that again. Of course, I recognize my sister, Lydia, who flew in. That's it, right? Okay, I think that's it. I'll be able to go back home now. Senator Bolkers, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to acknowledge my staff because I neglected to do so earlier, and I'm definitely sure they're going to crack the whip on me later. I wanted to thank my Chief of Staff, Denisian Hodge, for all of her hard work and determination, along with Anna Castillo, also Ms. Shemina Matherin, and of course, Mr. Marcelino Ventura, who is sort of like a big uncle to me. Coincidentally, Marcelino Ventura's son-in-law, Andre Douglas, received the award from President Biden for science and mathematics. So I want to commend him for your... And really quickly, when my grandfather migrated here from Vieques back in the 1940s, he went to work for Marcelino Ventura's grandfather, who owned a construction company. And now Marcelino Ventura works for me. So he always wants to ask me, what moving furniture have to do with policy advisory? But I really appreciate him. He's become like an uncle to me, and I appreciate all of his guidance and support. And I won't belabor it, Mr. President, but I just wanted to at least thank him for all of his guidance and support. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Bolkers. Senator Carla Joseph, you're recognized.
Thank you so kindly, Mr. President. I would be neglectful if I didn't also acknowledge my campaign committee, Joseph Action Committee. We have an acronym, say JAC, and that's an Antiguan thing too, where my parents them come from. And also I wanted to acknowledge my big brother, Carl Joseph. I love you dearly, and I thank you for all your hard work in the campaign and guiding me, as well as my awesome youthful staff, Miss Kenisha Berkeley in St. Thomas, Miss Khadijah Hodge, and Miss Keisha Blyden Wallace for the hard work you do every day and all day. And finally, Ms. Denise Charleswell, who is a part of my campaign and who is here with me. She has a young group in St. Thomas who we work with to support. Again, I'm telling you, train up a child in the way that they should go, and you won't depart from it. Thank you so kindly, Mr. President, for that.
Thank you very much. Senator Kenny Gittins, you recognize. Now we're limiting these extras to 90 seconds. Okay? 90 seconds, a hard 90 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't even need 90 seconds. I just neglected to also recognize two people, Miss Rena Francis, who worked hard on my campaign, and Miss Evelyn Bascom and family, known as Auntie Evie. I want to thank you all so much, and Miss Beatrice Benjamin Gums, who's sitting right before me. I don't know how I did it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator Gittins. Senator Clifford Joseph, you recognize.
Good afternoon again, everyone. I, too, would like to recognize my staff, new coming in the building, but I ain't going to start to talk about who is the best. We're going to prove it over time when they collectively deliver. Jamelia, Russell, and Miss Krieger, and I also have a young lady who's out of town today by the name of Miss Bradshaw. So we got 3 people starting up, but we're going to deliver, and I'd like to also, again, thank Miss Marty Gatz and her husband for coming out here today.
Thank you, Senator Clifford Joseph. Senator Ray Fonseca, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I forgot to mention a few folks in my staff. Adrian King, my researcher, Sandra Soberanis Hobson, Janet Martin Brathwaite, Gorvin Samuel, and of course, who donates my campaign headquarters to me every year, Mr. Ariel Brathwaite of Ariel's Corner. I don't want him to throw me out. Thank you, thank you.
That's a wise move, Senator. Okay, that's it. We got everybody covered. Okay. A special request for us to pray, keep those folks who are abroad suffering from natural disasters, particularly in the Los Angeles area. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers in the coming weeks and months, because that is a very serious situation, and many people across the globe, particularly out there in LA, are dealing with. It's real. The threat is real. So the official commemorative session of Wednesday, January 15th, 2025 of the 36th Legislature of the Virgin Islands is hereby adjourned. You can meet us. We're going to be meeting outside. Outside in front of the legislature. I know. It's done.